you start talking about $1 million life insurance policy, you're talking about the drug abuse that's taken on in your house, talk about leaving your husband, what better way? You could have it all. Set it up, have him killed, you got the insurance money, you did it.
At this moment, the walls of denial collapse around Tasha Bentley. Yet the detective is determined to uncover her role in the horrendous murder of her husband, Gary Bentley.
How would you describe it?
The easygoing.
Put yourself in my shoes. Who would be your primary suspect?
Me.
Gary was shot in the back of the head with evidence pointing towards Tasha. However, as the investigation unfolds, it exposes a tangled tale of lust, greed, and unforeseen twists.
I got caught up in stuff, man, and I would never in my life would do anything like this.
On December 10th, 2017, 33-year-old Gary Bentley was found by his father, Gerald Bentley, lying lifeless in bed at his home in Troutman Hill Road in Campbellsburg, Henry County, Kentucky. He had been shot in the back of the head. Gerald immediately dialed 911, but first responders could only confirm what was already clear. Gary was dead. As is common in cases of domestic homicide, suspicion often falls first on the spouse. His wife of 5 years, 29-year-old Tasha Bentley, was promptly brought in for questioning.
Show me again on your phone that information if you have it, the text information that you showed me before.
No, I hadn't showed you anything.
Oh, I thought you showed me your phone.
Remember my son had my phone last night.
I must have missed that one.
That's okay. He was playing games on the phone. You want text messages, phone calls?
Both.
Starting from...
Well, you said you left the house about 8:30 in the morning, is that correct? Okay, so anything right after 8:30 is when you started texting him or calling him. So Sunday, looks like your Sunday, December 10th, looks like 8:52 a.m. Love you, baby. Hope you get some good rest, sleeping in. We are getting breakfast, Christmas shopping, and going to see Amy. Good luck hunting, baby. See you later tonight. And then at 11:48, you say, in the woods hunting Boo?
I call him my Boo.
Oh.
It was a question without the... Because I hadn't heard from him. I'm like, so are you in the woods hunting? Like, what are you doing?
Okay. And then it says, hey, Boo, haven't heard from you. You get a big one. And that was at 3:48. So that's all the texting that you did then? Okay. And then, so you're texting on Sunday.
Yeah, because I was trying to think of why I hadn't heard from him. I'm like, hey, did you get a big one? Are you just so excited you're not responding? Are you hunting without your phone? Is your phone in the house? This was December 9th, so this was my first call. December 10th.
Is it the home sweet home?
Mm-hmm. That's the house. And Gerald, there's my father-in-law, where it says to, if I touch it, it'll show.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I'm looking at, let's talk about the phone calls. At the 3:18 p.m. outgoing call, what was that call about?
So I called to see if he heard from him or talked to him.
Okay.
And he said no.
Tasha and Gary met in 2006, married in September 2012, and welcomed their son, Connor, 3 months later. On the day of the murder, Connor was at home. Tasha claims she last saw Gary at 8:30 a.m., still in bed, before he was due to leave for his usual 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. hunting trip. But from the moment the interrogation begins, the detective zeroes in on a troubling detail: Tasha's text behavior. Despite knowing Gary would be out hunting and unlikely to be checking his phone, she continued sending him multiple messages throughout the day. While being questioned, Tasha let a detail slip, a haunting clue to the nightmare that had already unfolded.
Okay. And then at 4:33,
I called him again to tell him I was leaving Amy's. We had some dinner. We might do a little shopping. I really didn't know at that point in time to still go do any shopping. Or going home.
and
And he had said his brother Mikey was coming over. And I said, well, maybe when he gets there, if you ain't heard from Gary, I ain't heard from Gary, you two can ride over there.
okay. Then at 6:42, oh, it's a text message, I guess. You make it home.
He had texted me
Okay.
that I make it home.
And then 6:42, hotline call, lasted 3 minutes.
Yeah, I called him and told him that I was on my way. Because he had asked me if I made it home, and I just went ahead and called him instead of trying to text and drive.
Mm-hmm. And then the 7:15.
That was after I left the house. After I'd already come home. And then I called him and said, hey, something don't feel right at the house. I don't know if somebody's been there. I don't know. I said, I didn't want to go in. Just sleep. How do you describe that uncomfortable feeling you get?
What do you think brought that on? Hasn't the garage door been opened up before? No, not usually, but it has on occasion.
Even if Gary was home all day, but I'm still working shut.
Never have left the house. I know I've left the house. I come to work and I have to call my wife and say, did I close the garage door down? Because I may have forgotten. Be in a hurry, something.
You know how many times I've done that, and he has said things to me. No, you got so much stuff in the garage, you can't leave it open. That I purposely sit and wait and watch that garage door go down. But like when I pull in the garage, I pull it forward and I back up. And while I'm sitting there backed up, I hit the door and watch it go down all the way before I ever pull out of the driveway. Because he's very adamant. I mean, he's got all his tools in the garage, the lawnmower, the generator, the power washer, the lawn. But he always liked the door shut. Even, and it sounds crazy, even when I would move my car out to get the lawnmower out, knowing we're going to put the lawnmower right back up, he would put the garage door down.
Mm-hmm.
He said he didn't want the grass blowing in the garage.
Unable to reach Gary, Tasha called his father, Gerald, expressing concern despite knowing he was out hunting. She persuaded Gerald to check the house, telling him that the garage door was open, and she was too scared to enter. Inside, Gerald found his son's lifeless body, a moment of shock and grief that would haunt him forever. Tasha claims she didn't enter the house because she sensed something was wrong. But was that just instinct? Or did she already know what was waiting inside? The detective is about to find out.
So that just was odd to me that the garage was up and he wasn't outside. And usually if he's outside.
Where was this tree standing at for deer hunting at?
All the way at the back of the property, like near a fence, like up and.
And you said before that you knew you went supposed to go hunting from 10 to 2?
And he said the best time to go hunting was from 10 to 2. That he was going to sleep in. And he was going to try to get up and go up there about 10:30. And see how long he could sit. Come back down. And go back up. At like 2 o'clock. Or after, and sit till dark. But there's been many times I've come home and he's still up there and the garage door is down. Because if the garage door is ever up, him and the dogs are outside.
So if the garage door is up in this time and he's outside, maybe he went to go check on his tree stand. I'm just kind of curious as to why he didn't go look for him.
I looked in his car and nothing looked out of the ordinary at the car. I don't know.
Did you?
I kind of like, I didn't look around. I looked around, but I didn't walk around. And I started walking towards the garage and I got like a step or two.
Did you try going to the slider door on the one side or the other door on the other side of the house?
We rarely use the actual front door.
Just out of curiosity, if he was ill, how would you know to check on him? To maybe he fell down and hurt himself. I mean, would he? I mean, as a
wife,
husband and wife, and wouldn't you go check on him if he hurt himself? And that's why I'm curious that you didn't.
I can't describe the. So after I looked in his truck and he wasn't in there and nothing looked out of place, it just looked ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
And I took, like a few steps towards the garage, maybe got 1 or 2 steps in the garage. And I remember looking at the door was shut. And then because I'd been out of the car for a minute.
The detective presses Tasha on why she didn't go into the house herself to check on Gary. Rather than giving a direct answer, she diverts attention to the open garage door, as if that alone explained her fear. Tasha maintains an air of innocence, unaware that the detective holds damning evidence capable of shattering her story.
Stop.
Did he drink a lot?
Gary?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know Saturday night, I know he had 1 glass of bourbon. He usually mixes that with ginger ale. I don't recall if he had a beer.
What about his guns? Where did he keep his guns at besides the safe?
As far as I know, they were all in the safe.
So if it doesn't bother you that he's drinking alcohol, smoking, having guns in the house, doesn't seem to raise a ruckus with you, and yet I'm still baffled by this thing that when you show up to the house and you see the garage door open, that there's no problem, so why didn't you go check on him, make sure he was okay? I mean, what if he had a heart attack or something? And at that moment in time that you needed to be there to save him, you didn't go in. That's what I'm not understanding. Or did you guys have problems?
No problems, no more than any other married couple. But I don't know why. But it just didn't feel right with that garage door being up and that door being open. We called Gerald and he said, something's not right.
Those closest to Gary described him as a devoted, hands-on father, far more affectionate and engaged with their son than Tasha ever seemed to be. In their marriage, Tasha was often described as assertive, outgoing, and at times, controlling. Gary, by contrast, was mild-mannered, easygoing, and more inclined to avoid conflict. The detective now shifts the conversation, asking Tasha to describe Gary. Tasha carries an air of dominance, convinced she can talk her way out of trouble. But it's her words that betray her, leaving the detective stunned as she reveals far more than she intended.
So how would you describe Gary as far as easygoing guy, make friends with everybody, had a temperament, pissed off people? How would you describe him?
The easygoing.
Easygoing.
Yeah.
How's that?
Oh,
I can understand easygoing, I can understand, but you combine the two?
Yeah, because he's like that sarcastic. If you don't know him, you can't really tell if he's joking or not. Most people that don't know him think he's an ass. But then once you get to know him, they're like, "Oh, you're really cool. You ain't really as asshole as I thought you were. You're just, sarcastic joker, gives people shit all the time."
That cause any enemies, any friction?
Nothing really talk
Anything
about.
to the point that somebody want to hurt him?
Not that I mean.
Because of Gary's death, of course, we're checking a lot of things. One of the things that we looked into and we found out was there was a life insurance policy on him.
Tasha seems to believe the detective is simply collecting routine details. The illusion begins to crack the moment the detective turns up the heat and brings up the life insurance policy. Tasha's composure falters as she senses the conversation has taken a far more serious turn. What she doesn't know is that the detective already has the recorded calls from the insurance company, capturing every step she took to put the policy in place. And the timing is condemning. The policy was taken out just 12 days before Gary's death. The policy was approved for $1 million after Tasha's first call, but she wasn't done. She called back, asking if that amount could be raised.
Our son's almost 5. We've waited too long. We're not getting any younger. I see death every day. I see accidents every day.
Yep.
We need to take care of ourselves. I was almost wondering what would $2 million look like.
So your husband, based on his income of $65,000, can get as much as $1.625 million.
To the detectives, the motive was clear, but greed was only one part of it. There was still something far more sinister lurking beneath the surface, a truth they hadn't uncovered yet. The darkest revelation is yet to surface.
He was going to have $1,625,000.
He requested.
Wow, why so much? What did he have to insure that was going to cost that much to cover you?
He called and got it all started.
Well, I guess he tried to take care of it, didn't he?
I guess that's why I let him do his thing. He was the hard-working man.
And I hate to keep harping on this, but it still keeps going back to the same thing. If he took such good care of you,
why didn't I go in?
yeah, to check on him, to help him out, see if he was hurt or something.
Honestly, I didn't think Gary was there. Again. I don't know. That's what I tried to think about last night. What made me not? Why do you just get this feeling something ain't right?
Mm-hmm. That's why you didn't go in to help him out. That's what I don't understand. How would you describe your work in that signature?
Now?
Mm-hmm.
Now I have a permanent position at Summerfield. Before, I was on a flex path program to where I went to all different kinds of signatures. Is that my mom?
Yeah.
In flex path, you just float around to different management positions that they have open in their different buildings. March is when I took a permanent position there at Summerfield.
And a permanent position, that's like, I think you said something before, that's like an 8 to 5 job or something like that. It's a salary job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How do you accumulate overtime?
No.
You know? How is your time? If you do work overtime, you get compensated for it anyway? No?
Comes with the salary.
How often did you work late?
I tried to be off by 4:35. Maybe 1 or 2 nights a week. I wasn't able to get him until just recently, and they cut one of my employees.
Okay. Make a lot of friends there? the signature?
Yep, I know a lot of people there.
Any of them in particular? Does Anthony's name ring a bell? How are you associated with Anthony?
Friends outside of work, friends at work.
Describe friends outside of work.
Hang out.
The moment the detective mentions Anthony's name, Tasha's confidence wavers and a hint of resignation creeps in. She chooses her words carefully, calling him a friend from work and a friend outside of work. What she doesn't realize is just how much the detective already knows. Tasha and Anthony were having an affair. Investigators had uncovered a trail of evidence revealing that Tasha was planning to leave Gary for Anthony, even setting a specific date of January 14th, 2017. It's amusing to see Tasha being taken aback, clearly never expecting Anthony's name to pop up in the interrogation. However, the detective's source didn't come from surveillance or guesswork. It came from someone much closer to home, her own best friend, Day.
Hi, this is Amy.
What is it you want to tell me about the situation?
I know that Tasha, which was Gary's wife, is having an affair. She planned to leave him on January 14th.
Okay, and who is she having an affair with?
His name is Anthony.
Did she ever talk about her relationship with Anthony, other than the fact that you knew that they was having an affair, but anything about any talk of marriage or the fact that they were just hanging out together?
There was a lot of talk that day. Actually, I asked her, she's always wanted more kids. So I asked her on Sunday, I said, have you and Anthony talked about kids? Do you want any more kids? And she said, well, they are probably not going to, but Anthony said that if that was something that she wanted, then he would give it to her. I do know that she had planned on moving him in when she got an apartment because he was living with his mom or sister or a combination of both.
Anytime you guys just get together after work, like go have a drink of coffee or something? Sure.
Go drink coffee after work.
Or anything, any kind of socializing after work? I noticed the hesitation there, so I'm asking. I think you wanted to say something a little bit more.
We went to have lunch. Yeah, that's all. After work,
During work,
we go for lunch during work.
what would you consider doing at lunchtime? Where would you go? What would you do?
We would go and get food. Go sit in the park, eat lunch, go back to work.
Any romantic affairs?
Yes.
How serious was your romance?
We've been intimate a few times.
Do your husband know about this?
Yes.
Why would you think you'd be intimate with him? Something missing at home? What was missing at home?
I cared about him.
Why do you think they didn't care about you?
He got on me about my weight. He didn't like what I wore on vacation. He threatened divorce on me on vacation. I told him he was pushing me away. But I still wanted to be with him. And I wanted us to try to work things out. But I told him he had to make day for Christmas.
So how long has your romance been going on with Anthony?
Maybe a month or two. Was it November?
So how often were you intimate with him?
4 or 5 times.
What was going to happen on January 14th?
Amy's birthday.
You know, something else was going to happen on January 14th between you and Anthony.
I talked about moving out.
And moving in with them down in Louisville. I didn't think Gary would have taken that. Or did Gary already know?
Maybe a little bit. I told him if somebody else gave me attention, that I'd leave him for you this morning.
Gary's father, Gerald, revealed a growing emotional distance in the way Tasha treated his son. By 2016 and 2017, friends and family had also begun to notice. Tasha was frequently away from home, spending weekends out socializing or partying. Tasha admits to having an affair, something she kept hidden from Gary. For the detective, it's yet another indication of motive. The detective knows the moment for subtlety is past, and it's time to confront the truth head on. And now, the pressure is about to rise.
So if I paint a picture, you leave the house at 8:30 in the morning on Sunday morning. You know that Gary's going to go hunting at 10 o'clock. You know I know the truth.
What?
Everything that we discussed. I know all these things.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Mm-hmm. But you didn't tell me about Anthony. You didn't tell me about your affair with Anthony. Anthony works as, I think he works as a custodian at the same place you work at.
You didn't ask me about Anthony until today.
Mm-hmm. But you didn't come forward with it either.
Was I supposed to?
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to find out who killed your husband. And right now, if you were in my shoes, what would you think?
Me?
You have the means, you have the motive, you have the opportunity, you set things up, you're going out of the house by 8:30 when you normally sleep in at 8:30, or past 8:30 on Sundays.
You didn't let me sleep on Saturday.
On Sundays, you normally sleep in. Sleep in until about 10 o'clock.
Normally every weekend I let some sleep in.
Right. But this weekend, you didn't. This weekend by 8:30, you're out of the house. You need to be honest with me, because I know a lot.
I went to Amy's.
I know you went to Amy's. You went to Amy's, and you picked up McDonald's on Boone Road.
$35.12 worth.
Yeah.
In September 2016, Gary and Tasha vacationed in Jamaica with friends. But the escape was short-lived. Shortly after returning, Tasha was fired from her job as a nurse, reportedly due to performance issues or policy violations. Though she secured another position months later, the instability took its toll. Financial strain and mounting stress led to more frequent arguments at home, further fracturing their already fragile marriage. It was during this time at her new job that Tasha began an affair with a coworker, Anthony. The detective is sure Tasha has blood on her hands, and now he wants to know if Anthony does too.
Put yourself in my shoes. What do you think? Who would be your primary suspect?
Me. I get it.
You didn't go in because you felt that there might be something wrong.
Yeah, I felt like somebody had been in our house.
Mm-hmm. How would you know that?
I don't know that.
But you didn't go in to help your husband.
I didn't know he was in there.
Because you didn't go look.
No, sir.
You said you didn't go look.
Correct.
And right now, my suspicions are that you helped set this up. Yes, you did. You know how I know, Simone? You're not shedding any tears.
I'm crying all day.
Mm-hmm.
You can't look in my eyes and see I've cried all day. You can ask my family.
Not the things that I know.
What do you mean?
You've cried. I'm not going to deny that you haven't cried. But when you start talking about $1 million life insurance policy, you're talking about the drug abuse that's taken on in your house. You talk about the unattention or lack of affection. You talk about going into the arms of another man. You talk about having intimacy. You talk about moving in with this guy on January 14th. Talk about leaving your husband. What better way? You can have it all. Set it up. Have him killed. You got the insurance money. You did it. You want to take a polygraph to that?
Yes.
What I'm talking about is murder. I'm talking about you hired somebody. That's why you were afraid to go in the house, because you knew what to expect. You knew your husband was murdered in that house. That's why you didn't want to go in.
No,
You had it all set up.
no, sir.
Yes.
I'll look you dead straight in the
That's why you left the house that morning. You left at 8:30 in the morning. You didn't text message until afterwards. There's too many things that I found out in the last 48 hours, 24 hours. That just doesn't add up to me. And everything right now points at you. You had it arranged. That's why you didn't go in the house. And what I'm asking from you is to be straight with me, because you haven't been totally straight with me. I've had to fish things out of you little by little. And here's the seriousness of it all. If you don't want to be straight with me, that's fine. That's going to be up to you. But as I'm putting this puzzle together, I've got plenty of time, because there's no statute of limitations.
I understand.
And if you don't own up to what you did, and I go through all this, I guarantee you I'm going to try to make it stick as heavy as I can. As heavy as I can.
I did not hire someone to kill my husband. I did not ask anybody to kill my husband.
Did you kill him?
No.
You know what's funny?
What?
The bullet that killed him is the same bullet that matches your gun.
I did not kill my husband.
Why is it that it's a bullet from your gun that killed him?
I do not know.
Despite the growing mountain of evidence, Tasha remains firm, insisting on her innocence. After hours of relentless questioning, the detective knows he's hit a wall. She's unfazed by confrontation or pressure, and it's time for a change in strategy. The detective quietly steps out, and Lieutenant Johnson, the investigative supervisor, steps in. This isn't just a handoff, but a calculated move. Unlike the detective's direct, evidence-driven approach, Lieutenant Johnson brings something different to the table: calm authority, empathy, and disarming patience. This softer, more compassionate technique can lower defenses and open doors that aggression never could. If Tasha's going to talk, it won't be because she's cornered. It'll be because, for the first time, she feels like someone might understand.
I've been doing this for years and years. I've been doing this for 13 years of investigations. That's why I'm where I'm at in the spot as a supervisor, because I've worked all these cases. I've worked the Elizabethtown Post, I've worked LaRue County, Nelson County, Breckenridge County, all those down there, and then I've worked Grayson County. I've worked all the ones up here on stuff. So, I mean, I've worked with multiple prosecutors. I've worked with multiple defense attorneys. I've worked with multiple people in different demographics on cases, guns going off, people fighting over them, arguing over them, domestic or something happening, you try to take the weapon away and accidentally goes off. Anything like that occurs. I need to know about those things, because once we get to the point to where we know what happened, then you're useless to us. There's nothing that you can benefit from talking to us and telling us what happened on there. If you know that somebody that was your boyfriend or somebody that liked you, or if you were on a dating website, or if he was on a dating website and somebody found out where you lived at and they wanted you that bad that they went over there and hurt him and ended up causing his death, and you know about it and you covered up, you're just as guilty as the person who pulled the trigger.
Understands dating with them.
Well, it's murder one, because it's a felony that occurred with a death. Because burglary first, with the weapons being removed from the house, there's automatically a firearm involved that we've got. So that's the thing that you need to realize, because you need to be looking right now at protecting your son, being a mother for your son. You can still do that right now if you explain to us what happened that day on going through. But if you lie about it, that's something that you're just going to eat at you forever, and it's going to eat at you forever when he finds out the truth of what happened of taking his father. I've worked these cases. That's why I said I've sat in here with people. I'm kind of monotone just sitting here talking to you because I understand things in life happen. Things don't always go as planned. You may have had no concept of going over there and planning on causing him any injury or hurting him. And then maybe he got mad at you and started arguing with you. And you had the gun in your purse and the gun went off. It was an accident. And you got scared. And then you called his dad or called somebody else, your boyfriend or something, and made it staged to look like what it is. But I know in my heart, looking at that, and you know too, that that is not what happened. Somebody did not break into that house. You or somebody you know was the one that made entry into that house and shot him in the back of the head. And then to make it look like a robbery, the weapons were taken out of the safe and moved. And the good thing is we can get those weapons back. And you can still be a mother to your child. But after today, I can't promise that. Because if you're going to sit here and lie to me as a stone cold killer, I have no respect for you. But if you tell me there was a mistake that happened, you told somebody that something had happened, you made up a lie and said that Gary was beating you, and somebody went there for defense of you and killed Gary because they were trying to protect you, or that they wanted to be with you so bad, this is the time you need to tell me that. You need to tell me what they did, because you know what happened. And it is killing you to sit there and lie to me and not tell me the truth. It will feel so much better when you tell me the truth of what happened. And you know it.
There were no signs of struggle and no indication that Gary had ever woken up. The fatal gunshot to the back of his head suggests he was killed instantly, most likely in his sleep. After the murder, around 20 firearms were taken from Gary's gun safe, an apparent attempt to stage the scene as a burglary. But the execution was sloppy. There were no signs of forced entry, no ransacked rooms, and nothing else of value was stolen. The dogs remained calm, the house untouched, clear indicators that whoever entered was familiar with the home. Adding to their suspicion, jars of seeds were found in the home. Investigators also discovered clear evidence that Tasha had tampered with the gun safe. The confession may be closing in, but it's what Anthony reveals in his questioning that will flip the case on its head.
What happened to Gary that day? You can try to deny it, but the nightmares will continue. Everything will continue. Your life will be in turmoil until you tell me the truth of what happened. Tasha, tell me what happened that day. What did you do to Gary? Who did it? Who went there? Tell me, please.
No.
Yes, you know who went there.
No.
He didn't shoot himself.
I know he did.
If you won't do it for me, do it for your son.
That's what I did.
Why did you do it? You knew your story had too many holes in it, didn't you? It didn't make any sense, did it?
I tried.
You tried. Who helped you?
Nobody.
What did you do with the guns? Were they in the storage unit in Louisville?
I was going to take them there, but I didn't.
You know, did you see this right here? Look up. You don't think I know when I come here and talk to you that I know things?
I got the email to show you. That was my plan.
That was your, where are they? Where are the guns at? Were they in your car?
Okay.
Were they in a storage building? Did you give them to Patrick? Did you give them to your boyfriend to hold on to? Where are they at? 'Cause I gotta go get them. Did anybody help you move these guns? Who helped you move them? Anthony, did he come to the residence?
Took him.
What's that?
I took him to him.
You took him to him. And did you tell him just to hold on to him for you? Walk me through Sunday. What happened? Was he in the car? Where was he at?
It's really Gary Bentley.
What did Gary do to him?
Gary got mad. Got at 6 o'clock. And when the dogs woke up, and he got up, mad.
Where's the pistol that you used to shoot Gary?
With the other gun.
Was it the little 38 that was the one that was in that lockbox?
It wasn't in the lockbox.
Where did you have it on you? And did he hit him? Where did he hit him?
I smacked him in the back of the head.
Smacked him in the back of the head, like back here. You can look at this.
He went like this.
Where did he hit him? Where was he at? In the bedroom when he hit him?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I walked in on him because he was a big.
In a shocking turn, Tasha finally breaks down and confesses to killing Gary. She claims that she acted in a moment of rage after allegedly witnessing Gary abuse their young son. According to her statement, she walked in on Gary striking the child, and in that moment, something inside her snapped. She claims she used her firearm, a silver Ruger pistol with distinctive purple grips, and shot Gary in the back of the head as he lay in bed. After the murder, Tasha says she's gathered all the firearms in the house and handed them over to Anthony, who was living at his sister's home at the time. She describes this as a panicked, impulsive act in the aftermath of the killing. But as investigators dig into her allegations of abuse, her story begins to unravel once again. Extensive interviews with family members, friends, and daycare providers, as well as a review of medical records, reveal no evidence to support her claims. Physical examinations of the child show no signs of harm, and no one inside or outside the family had ever witnessed or suspected Gary of mistreating his son. Tasha pulled the trigger, but now the focus shifts to Anthony, who is no longer seen as a bystander, but as someone who may have played a role in the murder itself.
And I ain't no bad person, sir. I swear to God. I only try to live my life, man. You know, it's the right way. And I got caught up in this stuff, man, and I would never in my life would do anything like this. I tried to help her out. She said that she feared for her life, man. And I said, Tasha, I don't want to put these on my sister's house. You know what I mean?
Why did she say she feared for her life?
Because they was arguing, I guess, you know, and all that. I swear. You know what I mean? She said that he'd be punching holes in the wall and throwing things. That's what she said to me. And she said she feared that he was going to do something to her. That's the honest God truth.
She used the words he was punching holes in the wall?
Well, she said he has, yes, before and stuff. I mean, I don't know for sure if she was meaning that day. Mm-hmm. I just know she said he gets angry. You know what I mean? I swear to you.
Now that you know that I got involved in all this.
Yes, sir.
How does that make you feel that now with all those handguns got put in the car in the back, your fingerprints all over these.
I know, sir. That's what I was saying. That's what I was telling moms and everybody. I said, Lord knows I would never take no handguns out of nobody's car with my bare hands and put them in a house if I knew something was wrong. I swear to God, I was just trying to help her out. I swear. I would never. So like I was telling you, I watched TV. I would have never did nothing like that. On my life, I wouldn't. I swear, I was just trying to help her. And I swear, I told her, I said, Tasha, you have to come get these guns tomorrow. I said, because, I just can't have these guns over my sister's house. I swear to God, I didn't know anything about nothing was wrong like it. All I was trying to help her out. I said, in my mind, I said, well, Lord, if I didn't help her out, if something happened to her, I would feel bad, for not helping her, though. I swear. Mm-hmm. I said, what the hell happened, Tasha? Like that. And she said, well, what did they say at work? I said, they said that somebody broke in your house and they killed your husband. She said, yeah. I said, well, y'all okay? She said, yeah, I'm okay. And then I proceeded on after all that, talking about that. I said, I swear, I'm sorry what happened to your husband. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad what done happened to you and your son. I said, but please, because at that point of time, I didn't really know what the hell was going on. I was like so fucking messed up about the whole, because I had some guns over my sister's house. I said, you have to come down here, Tasha, and get these guns down there. From down here, you have to come down here. You know what I mean? When you coming down here like that. All I know, the honest to God, truth to you, my kids, my God, I would never had nothing to do with this if I'd have knew whatever she did. All I was trying to do was help her. I swear to God.
Oh, I know.
I swear.
Well, here's why I believe you.
I would never put my hands on no guns. If she told me she had did something, I would have told her, if you would get the hell away from me with that, and I would have probably called y'all or something if she would have told me she'd kill somebody. So I would have never took no guns out of nobody's in the car with my bare hands. Swear to God to you, and walk them guns back there. Samuel, I ain't gonna lie to you, sir. I would never, I've been around 47 years, sir. Mm-hmm. And I would never in my life took no guns out of somebody's car, knowing that somebody hurt somebody, I was going to hurt somebody with my bare hand. I never in my life would have did that. That was the stupidest, dumb, like my daddy said, Andy, I know you was trying to help that girl. He said, but when it's come to guns and stuff like that, you just don't know where stuff like that came from or what happened. You just I said, Daddy, man, I'm just, he said, man, and it could have happened to anybody, but you just have to learn you can't do stuff like that. And I really didn't mean to hurt nobody. I didn't hurt nobody. I didn't mean to hurt nobody by doing this, but I hurt myself and my family. And I just didn't mean to put myself in this position. I like Tasha, man, and I didn't want Tasha to get hurt. I felt if she got hurt, yeah, I love you. I did, man. I felt I had big feelings for her.
There is one more thing that may come up.
Yes, sir.
Only because she put you under the car.
Yes, sir.
You're not going to be accused, okay?
Yes, sir.
You're fine.
Yes, sir.
But you may have to say something in court about what she did.
Yes, sir. You mean like by bringing the guns to me and stuff?
Right.
Yes, sir.
The investigation ultimately cleared Anthony of any direct involvement in Gary's murder. Evidence confirmed his account. He had no prior knowledge of the killing and genuinely believed he was storing the guns for Tasha because she feared for her safety. Gary Bentley's life was ended by the very person who once vowed to love him. Was Tasha's motive greed, an affair, or a darker secret she fought to keep buried? As the focus returned to Tasha, the truth finally caught up with her. She was charged with first-degree murder, tampering with physical evidence, and trafficking in. After nearly 4 years of legal proceedings, Tasha Bentley pleaded guilty in July 2021, accepting a plea deal to avoid trial. She was sentenced on September 17, 2021 to 55 years in prison and is now incarcerated at the Kentucky Correctional Institution for Women. Her earliest possible parole date is 2037, with her full sentence set to expire in 2072.